I was looking for a Christmas background. I couldn't find any. I guess you have to take out your own photo and then make it your own background. Is that what you have to do, Chris? Bel Castro, do you know? For those backgrounds?
I would
Yes,
refer to
that's
Councilman Jones for that. He is the expert.
Yep.
Yep.
Grab some photo you have and
Mhm.
and then just put it on your background.
Like that. Okay, you know who, if you're listening, I want that, my IT guy. I really want a festive background, just in case you're listening. Okay, let's start. Here's my
Madam
guy.
Chair, Mr. Patoka is on, so the council is at full strength.
Okie dokie. Okay. Welcome, everybody.
110%.
It's good to see everybody. Legislative Day number 28 will now come to order. Please pause for a moment of silent meditation. While we do so, I would also like to acknowledge that today is the 79th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. On December 7th, 1941, our country lost over 2,000 people that day and over 1,000 were wounded. And it is important we always remember those that died and the generation that fought for our freedom in World War II. And I would also like us to also take a little extra time to remember United States Senator Paul Sarbanes. He passed away today. I never had the privilege of working with him directly. I came and gave government right after he left, but I know he was a tremendous warrior for the Chesapeake Bay and many other issues, and was just a fine public servant, and he will be greatly missed, and our condolences to all his family.
Madam Chair. Madam
We're
Chair.
gonna have a moment of silence first, Izzy. Okay, thank you, everyone. Councilman Batoka, you had something to add?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to add in our prayers and thoughts the family of Lee Jolly, who was an electrical inspector at PAI that passed away last week. And just to think about him.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. We could have done that before. I'm sorry. I thought you were just going to say something about Senator Sarbanes. I don't think I knew Mr. Jolly. Was he with the county long?
Yes, he was a long-term employee and very, 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 very effective and efficient in his job.
Oh, so sorry to hear that, especially around the holidays.
So thank you. We've had a lot of loss. Sorry.
Yeah, that's awful. It doesn't add when it's this time. It's more hurtful when it's this year. Who's in their office? Councilman Marks, are you in your office?
I'm at home.
Oh, okay. And you want to have a flag, Candy, so we can do the pledge? We got a flag. Chris, can you just get a little table, a little desk flag? Oh, your home too. Stacy, you got a flag on your desk?
I have a flag if you need one.
Okay. Mine's in the back.
Looks like Gail Watts is about to solve your problem.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go.
I was gonna say, I
going
could
to
go run, get to one in the hallway.
No, I'm going to stand by the wall by our flag. Just stand by.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Watts. I was gonna do the same thing, but I was gonna go get it. There you go.
Okay, now if everybody will just stand.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance since you're standing there? That would just be wonderful. Oh, she can't hear me. She's not in front of her screen. Julian Jones, would you like to, Councilman Jones, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. Yes, Madam Chair. Let me see here.
We already got the flag. We're good.
Oh, okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of the
United States of America
America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
God,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Watt. Jones. Mr. Jones. I forgot she couldn't hear when she went out into the hallway. Oh, my. Okay, then my computer shut down. Give me 1 second. Okay, is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of November 16th, 2020?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 The journal is approved. We will now move on to the enrollment.
Mr. Bostwick, Councilman Crandall, I was an aye on that. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
We will now move on. I can just tell it's going to be one of those nights. I can just out. We're going to move on to enrollment of bills. Bills 97-20, 105-20 were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and are hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Madam Chair, we actually have no bills for introduction this evening. As you know, we don't have a work session toward the end of the month, so we never introduce any legislation for a potential vote on that first January meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your clarity. The
Yes, ma'am.
council will consider all bills for final reading and vote. Mr. Secretary, first bill, please.
First, Madam Chair, is Bill 106-20, sponsored by Councilman Marks, zoning regulations, permitted uses, BLR zone.
There's also an amendment.
That's correct, Madam Chair. Mr. Marks, would you like me to go over the amendment, or would you like to discuss the bill first?
Certainly. So this legislation allows certain uses along the eastern side of York Road in the South Towson Design Review area. We've held numerous meetings about this bill, concluding in a conference call between the landowner and community organizations on Saturday afternoon. We also based a lot of our discussions on a survey that solicited feedback from more than 1,000 residents. I am very proud of the consensus that we were able to develop. The amendment contains the proposed uses, and I wholeheartedly support its adoption.
Thank you, Councilman Marks.
Madam Chair, the amendments are as follows. It's an amendment package really within a single set of amendments. The amendment package adds permitted uses to specific locations in the BLR zone in or near the South Towson Design Review area. First, the amendments add 11 by right uses to the BLR zone in the South Towson Design Review area, located in the locations south of Dumbarton Road, north of Dunkirk Road, and east of York Road. These uses include animal grooming facility, butcher shop, furniture store, restaurants with outdoor seating, shipping and printing stores, trade and music schools, veterinarians' offices, and other similar uses. The amendments also allow by special exception a Class 5 brewery in that same area. And then finally, the amendments permit 4 by right uses in the RO zone in the same South Towson Design Review area. In this instance, south of Dunkirk Road and east of York Road. And these uses are a bicycle shop, acupuncture and wellness office, beauty salon, and yoga, fitness studio, or personal training facility. And that is the sum and substance.
Thank you. Let's do the amendments first. Are there any questions or comments for Councilman Marks on the amendment? All right, do we have a motion to move the amendment on 106-20?
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to Bill 106-20, please.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
The amendment to 106-20 has passed. Do we now have any comments or questions on the bill itself? All right, hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 106-20 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Very good. Bill 106-20 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 109-20, current expense budget mannequin for defensive tactics training.
Okay, and I believe we have Ms. Gail Watts to testify.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Council.
Good evening.
The Department of Corrections is requesting to accept this grant from the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services to use for our defensive tactics training in pre-service, in-service, and the academy. The CUFMAN will allow for more extensive defensive tactics training for staff to increase their proficiency in executing techniques, making them more compliant with the department's use of force policy. The mannequin will also reduce the risk of staff injury and allow staff to train at a more intense level without the risk to fellow trainees.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from Ms. Watts? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 109-20.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
He's on mute.
I think you're muted, Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, looks like Bill 109-20 is passed. Looks like Ms. Watts didn't want to take me up on my, I offered. I'm just saying.
I did not. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Next, we have Bill 110-20, and we have David Bykoff to testify.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. Thank you. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of $410,000 to the FEMA Fire Prevention and Safety Grant and Awards Gifts and Grants Fund Program. The county was awarded this grant to purchase and install up to 15,000 combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors throughout the county. We use various data collection tools to identify neighborhoods that have high risks of fire and loss and conduct canvasses in those neighborhoods. The program, however, is open to all county residents, and everyone is eligible to receive and have a smoke alarm installed at no cost. There is no match to this grant, and there's no future encumbrance anticipated to the county. Thank you.
Very good. Are there any questions? Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I believe there's an amendment on this bill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, there is. I'm sorry. Mr. Bykoff, what is the amendment?
I'm not sure. Mr. Castro?
Madam Chair, I can intercede, Mr. Bykoff. It's really a technical amendment, Madam Chair. In the first whereas clause in the third line, it indicates that the monies will be used to purchase and install 7,500 combination. The amendment just inserts combination smoke and carbon monoxide alarms each year. It was just inadvertently left out in the original. Very technical.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we had a first and, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so who's moving? Can we have a motion for the
I'll
amendment,
move
please?
it. I'll move it. Second.
Okay, Mr. Boswick, can you please call the roll on the amendment to 110-20?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
The amendment to 110-20 passes. Is there a motion for Bill 110-20 as amended?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on 110-20 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 110-20 as amended is passed. Thank you, Mr. Blackoff.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.
You too. Thank you.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 111-20, current expense. No, I'm sorry. That's it. Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, God. Bill 111-20, current expense budget, senior Medicare patrol program.
Okay, and we have Laura Raleigh to testify this evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. The administration respectfully requests the County Council to approve a supplemental appropriation to accept additional federal funds made available through a grant from the Maryland Department of Aging in the amount of $2,271. The Senior Medicare Patrol Program empowers and assists Medicare beneficiaries, families, and caregivers to prevent, detect, and report suspected healthcare fraud, errors, and abuse through outreach, counseling, and education. Normally, we would do this in person at events, but we're doing it all virtually now and do one-on-one counseling for those who call with concerns.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members for Ms. Raleigh? Okay, then, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 111-20.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall, Mr. Crandall,
I don't see Todd on the grid anymore.
I think we may have lost him.
I think you're right.
Well, can we come back to him for the record?
We could. I'll call Mr. Jones.
Aye.
The bill passes, but we can certainly go back and get an official. Oh, Mr. Crandall? You're muted.
I told you it was going to be one of those nights.
Todd, there he is.
Are you all waiting for me?
Yes.
This is Crandall. I'm sorry about that. Now, I lost connectivity. I had to log back in.
Did you get to hear about the Bill 111-20, Mr. Crandall?
I did. I'm yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Then Bill 111-20 is passed. Ms. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 112-20, current expense budget, MSAC emergency grant.
Okay, and we have Mr. Leonard with us tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of state funds of $50,000 to the Maryland State Arts Council Emergency Grant Gifts and Grant Fund Program. The funds will be used to support arts organizations and projects that have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The grant will also support a partnership between the Community College of Baltimore County Public Schools, and other partners to create training modules for adapting arts education to the online platforms, and will provide this training at a subsidized cost to art educators. The last component of this grant will fund county arts programming, including interdisciplinary programs with a variety of instructional and local artists when it is safe to gather outdoors again for outside events.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Howie from the members? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 112-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Bill 112-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 113-20, Current Expense Budget, Opioid Recovery through Workforce Development.
Yep, and again, we have Mr. Leonard Howie to testify.
Good evening again. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of federal funds totaling $646,519 to the Opioid Recovery through Workforce Development Gifts and Grants Fund program. The funds will be used for the salary and benefit costs for new and existing department staff and other expenses in order to assist 96 county residents over the 4-year period impacted by the opioid crisis with alleviating barriers to obtaining employment opportunities. Some of these activities and services will include intensive case management, career counseling, basic career service, career training opportunities, and job retention support. The grant commenced on October 1st, 2020, and will end on September 30th, 2024.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members for Mr. Howie?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is Councilman Patoka.
Patoka?
Mr. Howie, is this a grant to a particular vendor or is it to
No, this is to the department.
the department? Okay, thank you.
Okay,
And so
anyone else? Sorry.
just the department would implement the training and oversee treatment.
Correct. What it does, it really expands our ability to offer our standard career services and job readiness services to those adversely impacted by the opioid crisis.
So are there referrals to your office? Well, I guess the question is,
how do we get the customers?
How do you get the customers? Yes, I know
Yes.
there's customers out there. I just was wondering how they get directed to you.
Well, we are in partnership with various community health organizations already, and believe me, there will be no want of people to participate in the program, unfortunately.
So, for example, we have a facility, I think in Owings Mills, where referrals are done by hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know exactly if there's a similar structure for this program.
Well, I can definitely get back to you on the details of how the referrals will come about that do not come through our normal process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 113-20.
Yes, Madam Chair. Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Bill 113-20 is passed. Thank you, Mr. Howie.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next bill is Bill 114-20. This is a bond ordinance.
Mr. Ed Blades, are you with us?
I am. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. The administration is requesting your approval on the annual bond ordinance. This legislation consists of the following components: approval of the issuance, sale, and delivery of short-term bond anticipation notes or bands up to $365 million, distributed as $240 million for consolidated public improvement projects and $125 million for Metropolitan District water and sewer projects. Approval of the issuance, sale, and delivery of long-term general obligation bonds up to $365 million with the same distribution. Authorization of refunding bonds related to the entire callable general obligation debt issued by the county between 2009 and 2020, totaling $3,099,499,000. authorization for the county to purchase development rights as part of the installment purchase agreement for land preservation. And finally, authorization to pursue the use of tax advantage status for any bonds or notes included in this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blades. Are there any questions or comments from the members for Mr. Blades?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilmember.
Mr. Blades, are these the bonds that were just recently passed by the voters on referendum?
No, they are not. Those we have not gotten to issue at this point. These are previously authorized bonds, and we sell in order to reimburse ourselves for expenditures to replace the cash that we've already spent.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Quirk.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank Mr. Blades for his work on this as always, and of course our budget and audit staff. And I know we talked a lot about this in work session, but I really do hope that our leaders in Congress, both Republican and Democratic side, I hope they do not even consider going on recess until they do their jobs and get stimulus passed and passed now. It's ridiculous they don't have anything done yet. They need to compromise. They need to work together, pass something, and then once President-elect Biden becomes president, then we can hopefully get even more accomplished on this front. But way too many Americans that, through no fault of their own, have no jobs and no money coming in. And DC needs to simply do their dang jobs and do not go on recess until they're done. So I just wanted to, hopefully anybody listening out there, for all 7 people that watch these things, hopefully they can contact their Congress people and their U.S. senators and tell them to do their jobs and don't even consider taking a recess or doing anything until they get this dang stimulus passed, because it's way past time to get this done. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but thank you.
Mr. Quirk, I just saw this evening's national news that they were going to try to get it done by Friday so they could all go home. So
from your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Okay, anyone else for Mr. Blades? Okay.
I'll move it, Madam Chair.
We don't have to move it. Mr. Secretary, please call the bill on 114-20.
Yes, Madam Chair. Sorry, I was muted. Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Bill 114-20 has been passed. Thank you, Mr. Blades. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 115-20. This is a bill sponsored by Councilman Jones, zoning regulations, uses in the BMCT zones.
Councilman Jones, would you like to say a few words about your bill?
Yes, Madam Chair. This bill will enable the Mill Station, formerly known as the Owings Mills Mall, the ability to build additional apartments, which they already have townhouses on the ring, the outside of the development now. But this would enable them to build some apartments and not have retail space on the first floor as required right now. There's already plenty of retail there at Mill Station. So I asked my colleagues for their positive vote. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Any questions or comments for Councilman Jones? And there is.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just a comment to Councilman Jones and to all of my colleagues on the council. And I mean, this is something that we may need to rethink as the for our zoning code, as the economy has changed, where retail is less desirable as retail as we know it, and residential, where we have commercially zoned areas, is now becoming more desirable for residential. And it's something that we may need to think through as we begin Master Plan 2020. And I think the Councilman Jones bill right now is evidence of the change that's occurring in the retail landscape and market. That's it.
All right. There's an amendment. Councilor Jones, you going to cover the amendment, or is Mr. Bostwick?
There's no amendment to this bill, it's my understanding. That there are amendments to the next three bills.
Well, hold on a second. I have that there's an amendment. Are we on 116-20?
115, Madam Chair.
My God, that's my problem. Okay, that's the next one. I scrolled down too quick. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Madam Chair, you certainly had me going. Because I was thinking, man, I'm losing it.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll 115-20.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Bill 115-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 116-20. This is also sponsored by Councilman Jones. It is entitled County Attorney Settlement of Litigation Notification to the County Council. And this is also sponsored, I believe, by Mr. Marks.
Okay, Councilman Jones, Marks?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is a bill that builds on top of a bill that Councilman Marks had introduced a few years ago. And at the time, his bill dealt with substantial settlements. And this bill lowers the bar, so to speak, to sort of scoop up all the other litigation and settlements that the county have. In a lot of cases, it represents a tremendous amount of money to which we are responsible for, but oftentimes we know nothing about. And
Julian, you're muted. You accidentally muted yourself.
okay, yeah, it'll actually give us an opportunity to identify places where additional training is required or policy or procedure changes is necessary. So again, I thank Councilman Marks for his initial bill and certainly appreciate his co-sponsorship, and ask all my other colleagues to support this bill because it will give us an opportunity to basically see more of what we're responsible for. And I believe there is one amendment we worked this issue out with the county attorney. And it should be noted, and I'm so glad I just thought of it, that this bill is really about the future and about our responsibility. And it has no bearing at all on our current county attorney, who's been nothing but extremely transparent in everything that's going on in terms of letting us know about the litigation. And there's certainly no bearing at all on the current administration, who also have been extremely transparent about all activities taking place in the county. But to be quite frank, there was times in the past when I went to an event and someone brought up a settlement with the county, and I had to admit that I knew absolutely nothing about it. And the person wouldn't let it go. And I stood there and had to keep repeating, I know nothing about it. And it sounds bizarre, but when I turned around and looked into it, it was true that it happened. So I think this bill will give us all more insight into what's going on in the county as it relates to lawsuits and stuff. And I ask your indulgence.
Okay. Are there any members that would like any questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman.
Madam Chair. Yeah, I was asked by a reporter today what I thought the current county executive's greatest accomplishment was, and I said improving transparency. But I think that goes a long way back. You know, there was a time when these council meetings were not live. We recorded them. And Vicki Allman, who was chair at the time, worked to get them televised. But we've done an awful lot over the past 10 years. We've reformed the PUD regulations. We've put regulations online. And I think making our constituents aware of litigation is an important step forward in transparency. So I thank my colleague, Mr. Jones, for his bill, and I enthusiastically support it.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so let's, I need a motion for the amendment first.
I'll move it.
Madam Chair, would you like, I can speak to that amendment, if that's okay.
Oh, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay. As Mr. Jones indicated, this amendment was in consultation with the county attorney, of course, whose office will be implementing the reporting. And basically, it's fairly technical, but it just changes some language. The amendment will have that paragraph that has been put into this bill. It will read as follows: that as part of the same annual report due under paragraph 2I of this subsection, which incidentally is that significant litigation report that you get at the end of each year, the county attorney shall also provide to the county council in a separate section of that report a listing of the settlement amounts for each claim or case in which the county or an employee is a party for the year the report is due. And the report will include the name or caption of the claim or case, a summary of the claim or case, and the amount paid by the county in settlement of the claim or case. And that is the amendment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions or comments about the amendment? Okay, is there a motion to move the amendment?
I'll move it, Madam Chair.
Second.
I'm sorry, was there a second? I didn't hear.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to Bill 116-20.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Okay, the amendment to 116 passes. Do we now have a motion to move Bill 116-20 amended?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 116-20 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Okay, Bill 116-20 is passed as amended.
Thank you, colleagues.
Next item, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 117-20. This bill is sponsored by Councilman Marks. It is entitled Residential Permit Parking Areas.
Councilman Marks?
Thank you. This allows a residential parking permit system in ROA zone land if we adopt the amendment. The bill is needed because of a residential plan unit development that had been built on ROA zoned property. So essentially, it's a residentially zoned project constructed on a commercial piece of property. And I think this bill helps address a loophole in the law. The Department of Public Works would still need to evaluate each proposal on the criteria in the law.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments for Councilman Marks? Okay, is there a motion? Oh, wait a minute. There's an amendment.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. The amendment is really technical. It simply changes the RO zone, that is what the bill indicates, and substitutes the ROA zone because upon further investigation after the introduction of the bill, it was determined that the area that the bill was targeting was actually zoned ROA and not RO.
Okay, very good. Okay, is there a motion to move the amendment to Bill 117-20?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to the Bill 117-20.
Yes, Madam Chair. Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
The amendment passes. Do we have now a motion to move 117-20 as
So
amended?
moved. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 117-20 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 117-20 is as amended is passed. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Next, Madam Chair, is Bill 118-20. This is a bill at the request of the administration. This is an emergency measure entitled Current Expense Budget, Department of Commerce Restaurant Relief Grant.
Okay, and I'm guessing Mr. Howie is still with us.
I am still with you, and this is the last one.
Okay.
Good evening once again. The administration is requesting a supplemental appropriation of state funds totaling $7,081,047 to the Department of Commerce Restaurant Relief Grant Gifts and Grants Fund Program. The funds will be used to provide grants to county restaurants and food service establishments that have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The department advised that the funds must be used to defray operating costs such as payroll, purchasing of equipment to expand outdoor dining, etc. The grants will be awarded in two phases. The first phase to those establishments that have already received funding through our previous small business restaurant reimbursement program, up to a total of $30,000. And the second phase will go to those county establishments who have not received any previous grant fundings, up to that same $30,000 limit. The application window opened on November 16th, and grants will be provided on a first-come, first-served basis.
Okay, and there is an amendment to this bill?
Yes, Madam Chair, very technical amendment. There are two references in the bill that reference Section 712, subsection A of the charter. The amendment would merely strike that reference to subsection A so that it references Section 712 generally.
Thank you.
Madam
I
Chair.
want to make a comment and say, Mr. Howie, this is so desperately needed for our small businesses across Baltimore County. I know so many of them are suffering, even with a little bit of outdoor dining. They're just barely holding their heads above water. Some don't even have the ability to do that. So I greatly appreciate it. I know for all the businesses in my district, as well as I know my colleagues. So thank you so much.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilman Catch.
Yes. Mr. Howie, can you explain to me the strategy behind having as the group that's the first priority, those that have already received grants in the past, and then the second wave is our restaurants that have not received grants in the past?
I probably wouldn't classify it as the first priority, just two tiers of allocations. It's just, I could have set them in reverse order.
Okay.
So it's just that if you had money, if you were able to get the grant before, you were still eligible, and if you didn't get it, then you were still eligible. So I wouldn't look at it as one over the other.
Okay. So it's not a priority list. It's just the way I understand. So if you're approved, you're going to get the money. If you're applying and are approved, then you're going to get the money. I understand. Okay. I misunderstood you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilman Quirk?
Yeah, if I could ask Mr. Howie a couple of questions. First is, how much is each grant? What's the maximum amount per grant that these restaurants are possibly eligible for?
They have a total award between all of our grant programs of up to $30,000.
Between all of them, not this one mutually exclusive.
Now, if there were businesses who didn't get any relief so far, then they would be eligible for up to $30,000. if somebody say got $15,000 at a previous award, then they would be able to get up to $15,000.
Got it. Okay. And then if the administration could, as we've done in the past, if you guys, once, this does go through, if you could put together something that we can actively hand out to, our local restaurants, some information, because first come, first serve. I don't honestly know, does that mean that this program is exhausted within 5 days, or is it like, so if it's very limited and very exhausting quickly, if we could get something we can hand out proactively to make sure that people know about it so they can have opportunity at this, it's sorely needed, that's for sure.
Correct. Well, I would say that the good thing is that the need is definitely out there, and I think we received more than 500 applications within a couple days of the program. So it seems as though the word really got out well with the program. Definitely oversubscribed. So we have some decisions to make. However, we are committed to using all available resources that we have to fund as many of these businesses as we possibly can, between county and state money and of course CARES Act money.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Rogers.
just want to add a couple comments to that, because of course, ultimately, the grants come through and have to be signed electronically. In addition to this particular fund, which we were told by the state that we needed to exhaust these funds by December 31st. This is state money, but still gave us till December 31st. Subsequently, the county has requested of the state an extension to be able to use it outside of, beyond December 31st. We are awaiting that response from the state because the team is working day and night. Over the weekend, we processed over 180 requests. They come to me last. I know I was going, and they did over the weekend. They were dropping down into my approval box Saturday, and so we're working expeditiously to get it out. Now, if the state approves for us an extension, then of course we will be able to carry the money a little further. But the CE has made commitment to other resource dollars, but we have to spend down on all of our CARES dollars by the 30th of December. We're trying to get these funds out the door with the hopes that the state will indeed allow us an extension. And then we're looking at other potential that we may be able to continue to help, because we know that the business community is being hit hard. So those discussions are going on. We will definitely keep you all posted, but we have more subscriptions to all of the money that's available right now than we have, but we're doing them on as expeditiously as possible to spend down on all resources.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Pacheco.
Thank you. Mr. Howie, I met this morning with the owners of Jilly's Bar and Grill, and Jilly's Bar and Grill in Pikesville not only suffered through COVID crisis, but also they were victims of arson about a month ago, and it burned to the ground. And the owners they're gonna come back, and we were going through some of their plans this morning, and I don't know if they would be eligible for any of these grant opportunities. I also spoke with perhaps the newest member of your staff this morning about this, about other opportunities that might be available for Jilly's Bar and Grill in Pikesville as they try to rebound their one of a kind product in Pikesville.
Okay, I think we might actually have an update on the Jilly situation. Chris, are you on?
Yes, sir. They did apply, and we would approve them. Just so you know, I don't know where they are exactly in our process, but I told the staff to approve them as they go forward, because we have obviously heard from the Riches that they intend to rebuild, buy that building next door, rebuild, and come out even stronger.
Yes. That's wonderful. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Mr. Howie.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilor Marks?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to echo Councilman Quirk's request for that district by district analysis. When I shared that with my constituents, it showed that this is a program that is working and benefiting many people.
Okay.
And I also want to thank your staff for the outstanding work they've done. Chris McCollum jumped in. He demonstrated why he's such a problem solver. And I want to thank you all for the good work you've done over the past 7 or 8 months now.
Well, on behalf of the team, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Jones?
David Marks, Councilman Marks stole my thunder, but that's okay. There's more to come. Mr. Howie, I guess wanted to take this opportunity to thank you and your staff, especially Chris McCollum certainly did a fantastic job. I know that I've heard from a couple of people in my community, restaurant owners, who told me not only were they extremely satisfied with the service they received and the treatment they received from your office, but they were extremely grateful for the grant that they received, because they are literally holding on by their fingernails, trying to make the rent and doing everything they can not to lay off as many employees as they can, to try to, think about them during this time as well. So I can tell you the money is sorely needed, and your staff, especially Chris McCollum, who I can call to get updates on things and get things moving, is doing a fantastic job. And I guess wanted to congratulate you. And I look so forward to making this vote, because the people in Baltimore County and the restaurant industry certainly needs the money.
Yes, they do.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Quirk?
Yeah, just echo on this comments I think we're all kind of feeling out there. We could do some type of marketing push, a reminder that even if people feel uncomfortable, obviously eating indoors anymore, and kind of outside seating because it's so cold, in a sense, is now inside seating for many places because of the tarps and everything else. But if we could really just do a push and remind citizens and consumers that, hey, you can still do carry out, and we should be promoting carry out, and because as I think every council member knows, we got to do more for these restaurants and small businesses, because let's face it, we have probably 5 or 6 more months, unfortunately, before this vaccine is in full force, and whether it's vaccine and herd immunity or however it happens, still another 5 or 6 months. And unfortunately, as all of us know, January and February, according to CDC, is actually going to get much worse before it gets better. So I think we really need to be innovative, and we need to really promote, small business and, shopping locally and doing carryouts. And because otherwise, we're going to unfortunately lose a lot more small businesses in the next couple of months. So whatever economic development department can do to really, promote this stuff. Carryouts are still great, and there are a lot of good businesses that need our support, and so appreciate anything we do here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to say one thing quickly, Madam Chair. Keep your ears tuned for Takeout Tuesdays as part of a theme moving forward.
Oh,
Love
okay.
it. Love it. Love it.
It's going to get as big as Taco Tuesday, I got a feeling.
Madam Chair, if the discussion is over, and I don't mean to limit it at all, you just need a motion and second on the amendment.
So,
Yeah, I'll move it.
do I have a second? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to 118-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Okay, the amendment to 118-20 is passed. Do I have a motion to move 118-20 as amended?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 118-20 as amended.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
Bill 118-20 as amended is passed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
The
you.
council now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on December 1st, 2020. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to reinstate their testimony if needed. As if a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I will now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 6.
Madam Chair, the first fiscal matter is a contract with Tranquility Assisted Living House LLC for assisted living care services. Next is a contract with We Fix Sidewalks LLC to help removal of tripping hazards on sidewalks. Contract number 3 is with Bodie Cellmark Forensics Incorporated for lab testing. Fiscal matter 4 is a contract with DNA Labs International Incorporated for lab testing. Fiscal matter 5 is a contract with Sterling Corporation Incorporated, doing business as Sterling Helicopter for helicopter maintenance. And fiscal matter 6 is a contract of sale with Lisa Ann Watson at 461 Kent Avenue in Catonsville.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call, are there any questions? Okay. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 6.
We do need a motion and second on those matters.
Sorry, I'm
So
sorry.
moved. So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Fiscal matters 1 through 6 are approved. We will now consider miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item.
Madam Chair, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the council and the nature and parties to the contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following award. There are 15 such contracts to be announced this evening. First is with Armed Security Incorporated, related to COVID-19, total amount of $38,400. Next is YMCA of Central Maryland for academic support services at the Fall Learning Center, a not to exceed of $450,000. Next is Albright Farms Corporation for food, fresh eggs, and chicken, total amount of $26,083.80. Next is the Maryland Food Bank Incorporated for boxed shelf stable food, amount of $825,000. Next is Big Boy Transportation LLC for transportation services related to COVID-19, $30,000. Contract with Victor Welzant, a psychologist who has been hired by the police department to promote wellness during COVID-19, $220,000. Albright Farms Corporation for food during COVID-19, estimated expenditures through December 30th, $126,000. Next is Compass Group USA, doing business as Chartwell's Dining Services for grocery boxes during COVID-19, estimated through December 30th of $180,500. Next is with the Tamis Corporation for Jersey Barriers, $26,500. Next is a contract with Ole Crest Farm LLC for food during COVID-19, estimated expenditures through December 30th, $220,000. Next is a contract with Pequea Valley Farm for dairy products during COVID-19. Again, expenditures through December 30th, $225,000. Next is with Compass Group USA, again doing business as Chartwell's Dining Services for grocery boxes during COVID-19, $50,000. Next is Maryland State Fair and Agricultural Society Incorporated for rental and services at the state fairgrounds, $1.5 million. Next is Sunco Worldwide Incorporated again for barricades, interlocking, $37,155. And finally, a contract with, or a purchase order with Advanced Scale Maryland LLC, inbound and tunnel scales replacement at the Western Acceptance Facility, $270,151. And that is all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilman Catch?
Yeah, Mr. Secretary, with the item that dealt with the hiring of a doctor to work with, what is it, the fire department or the police department?
The police department, Mr. Catch.
Say that again?
The police department.
Police department. Do you have a breakdown as to, I mean, the doctor is not getting 220,000. It must be going to other things, I would guess.
I can read the detail that is associated with this. It indicates that the order is for the purchase of psychologist services through Victor Welzant, psychologist, as detailed in the emergency justification signed by the budget director in response to COVID-19. The county has taken proactive steps throughout all county agencies to combat the pandemic, including emergency purchases. Here are the details that are pertinent. Police departments across the U.S. are currently facing additional challenges to health and wellness, which includes interacting with populations that are at high risk or infected with COVID-19. These challenges, if left unaddressed, may lead to behavioral health challenges of police personnel, including but not limited to low officer morale and performance, distancing from and the lack of empathy for others, limited de-escalation ability, increased risk for use of force, increased employee turnover, alcohol, substance abuse, and familial troubles, post-traumatic stress disorder, work disability, and suicide. As a result, the police department is taking proactive steps to address potential behavioral health challenges and promote officer and organizational wellness by engaging an on-call psychologist. Dr. Welzant will provide routine and emergency clinical mental health services to the department, police department employees and/or their immediate families by providing counseling, consultation, assessment, evaluation, and referrals. So I would imagine that this is an up to $220,000
And
purchase
it
order.
deals with funding the referrals as well, correct?
I'm sorry, say again?
Funding the referrals. In other words, other psychologists.
That I don't know specifically, Mr. Catch. I don't know if the administration can be more can provide more detail on that.
I would ask we can let this go through, but I would ask the administration for more explanation of exactly what is. I mean, we don't have one doctor getting this money. I mean, that I can conclude.
Well, I think, as I indicated, it is an on-call situation where the doctor will provide routine and emergency clinical mental health services, and I believe that it is an up to amount of $220,000.
Councilmember Cash, we're happy to talk with the police department, but I do not believe that this is an LLC type of arrangement. But we'll reach out to the police department. I think it is the psychologist, the clinical psychologist listed, and this is to have in place if there is a need for psychological services or clinical intervention for police department members who are exhibiting signs of stress or overwhelm associated with the pandemic, there's a lot of documentation out there about it. But we'll double check, but I do not believe that it is an LLC kind of arrangement. I think it is a clinician. But I'll reach out to Chief Hyatt to get that information for you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Councilman.
I share some of the concerns that Councilman Catch is exhibiting or indicating. I was wondering to myself when I heard it, I guess, the number jumped out at me. And the first thing came to my mind is, don't we have these services now with the employee an EAP, Employees Wellness Program already, which is available to every employee in Baltimore County?
Yes, Councilman, this is Ed Blades. We do have the EAP available, and this is an expansion of services to be specific in nature to assist with our law enforcement community.
And on emergency on
Is our
call.
current system maxed out? I mean, is people using our current system to the degree that we need somebody else?
I would have to look into that for you.
I just did not want us to be paying for a duplication of services. We certainly want to make sure that the police officers and the personnel in the police department in Baltimore County get each and every help that they need. But I guess want to make sure before we start paying somebody else that we are utilizing the services that we currently pay for.
I understand. I see this as an enhancement to the services available to our police officers. They are the front line in dealing with COVID, in addition to the fire department.
Mr. Blades, so you are assuring us that if this individual doctor, is he the only one going to be called in an emergency situation? And will his personal reimbursement be up to $220,000 for providing this service? And if so, for what period of time?
It will be a not to exceed amount, and it will be with him. And but I will have to get back to you as far as additional details related to the EAP and related to how they will contact him.
So this reimbursement is for him, period.
I believe so,
That is the
but
way
I
it's
will
written,
confirm.
sir. It is written to the specific clinician, but I'm reaching out to Chief Hyatt and her staff.
Mr. Secretary, if I asked to put this on hold or whatever, what are the procedures beyond tonight?
I'd have to look into that, Mr. Catch, and maybe Mr. Blades can help. But I think the requirement for a purchase order such as this is, that the administration has determined that it is a non-competitive award and that is appropriate under the circumstances. And the requirement is that the legal requirement is that it be announced at the next legislative meeting. Beyond that, I would have to look into what, if anything, the council could do if it does not agree with the administration's call.
It's not that I disagree, it's just that I would like more detail. And would it be then?
Not good. Can you?
I can't hear. I'm sorry.
I think she was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
She was off unmuted.
I mean, would it be up then to the administration to allow a week or 2 weeks delay until the next time the council meets to give more detail, Mr. Secretary, or what is going on?
Right, because the question about, is this duplication of service?
Yes. And it seems like, to me, a high amount of money. And also, when does this contract expire? I mean, is it for the rest of this year? Is it for?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Rogers.
I just spoke with Chief Hyatt. She is asking one of her staff to join the call to give a little bit more detail regarding this contract, because the contract is coming through as an emergency procurement, and the information we have reviewed, it appears to be based on a need that was presented, and it does not represent duplication of effort. But if you all have, we can have the her staff member jump on to talk further about this contract. If there's business that we could circle back.
I guess my concern is if the person, the doctor, I mean, is this in addition to his current practice? It just seems like a lot of money to me, okay, to be blunt about it. And
well, that's why we're checking on those that level of detail in terms of how this is being handled. But I do know that the nature of this was definitely an on-call situation, and above and beyond our piece of the EAP program. The EAP gives you a referral. I know that they were trying to have a on-call a kind of arrangement, but we do. Chief Pyatt told me she is going to have someone jump on the call and give a little bit more detail for you.
Madam Chair, can we go on and delay this part of the meeting until the representative from the police get online?
Colonel Lavak, the chief told me that Colonel Lavak is about to join us now.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Hi, Colonel Lavak.
Hey, how are you? I'm sorry, I just jumped off. We have not received, we didn't receive anything from the council or from the administration to be prepared for this presentation tonight. Is there a way we can just push this to the next council meeting and then we'll have the appropriate documentation?
Colonel, this is Councilman Crandall weighing in. Can I ask Mr. Bostwick, we don't vote on these matters of correspondence.
No, that's correct. That's correct, Mr. Crandall. The charter, the charter does have in section 902, in Article 9, which is the purchasing aspect of the charter, it does have a subsection, subsection F, that allows, it encourages or it requests where appropriate competitive bidding, and then where that's not appropriate competitive negotiation, and then where that's not feasible, where competitive bidding or competitive negotiations are not feasible, contracts may be awarded by, quote, non-competitive negotiations. And then whenever that is really not feasible, a copy and then when a contract is awarded by a process other than competitive bidding, then all the requirement is in the charter is that a copy of that contract be given to the council, and that at the next legislative session day following award, that the secretary read or announce to the council the nature of the contract and the parties, and then this is recorded in the minutes as a permanent record, and that really is all that occurs. There's no vote, as you alluded to, and there's really nothing more legislatively for the council to do in regard to it.
Thank you, Boss, for that clarity.
Ma'am.
Madam Chair,
We
is
can
this?
move on, and Councilman Catch, I'm guessing that you can have further discussions on your own with the administration with issues that you may have.
Oh, absolutely. And I just a quick question. Is this then a fait accompli? Has the contract been signed and then the council is just being informed of this contract?
That's basically the correct, Mr. Catch. It's a purchase order, but yes.
Okay, then I definitely will confer with the administration. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But we will be happy to provide you with a little bit more detail for us. It was one of the emergency contracts as been described as it comes through. That's why Colonel Lavak or no one would have been here to talk about it tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Chair, I would be more than willing to speak to them, at a later date if needed be.
Okay, thank you, Colonel.
Thank you,
Madam
Colonel.
Chair, this is Councilman Crandall again. Councilman Catch, and Councilman Jones, I wasn't in any way questioning your line of questioning. I appreciate the line of questioning. I just wanted clarification from the secretary on the nature of this correspondence, and I do think that it is a situation where the charter grants the administration the ability to conduct business this way, as Mr. Bostwick described, straight out of the charter. So, but I do appreciate the spirit of, hey, this sounds a little weird. So let us get some more information about it. So I do appreciate your line of questioning. I just want to clarify that.
Well, I thank you. And basically, I considered our responsibility as a council when we see something that it just looks a little odd, that we bring attention to it. And I'm certain that, we'll get an explanation or more details with this contract. And I appreciate the participation of the council and the administration. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
We'll be happy to do that, council member. All council members will be happy to do that. But the chief did say this is above and beyond EAP because they need the specialty kind of support that EAP clinicians don't typically have with police departments. Many police departments are trying to build this capacity given the impact of the pandemic and other emotional issues. But we'll send you something, or we'll have a briefing. We'll schedule a briefing for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Next is Resolution 134-20. This is a resolution for the council to approve the Baltimore County Financial Assurance Plan Watershed Protection and Restoration Program.
Okey-doke, and we have Dave Lakins with us to testify this evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council. The administration is requesting your approval of our Baltimore County's financial assurance plan under the state's Watershed Protection and Restoration Program. And when Governor Hogan came in, he made changes to that program. That program allowed us to have the so-called rain tax or the stormwater remediation fee. The governor made changes to that to eliminate it, but in doing so, he also put in or had put in legislation that requires each MS4 jurisdiction to file a financial assurance plan that would show that we have enough money in our budget to do the kinds of projects that we do regarding restoration of impervious surfaces, that portion of our MS4 permit. So we need to file this every 2 years. We need to have a public hearing, which we had at the work session. And here we are tonight, hopefully voting on it. We'll get it approved by the county administrative officer and then signed by the county executive and take it down to MDE.
Thank you, Mr. Lakins. Are there any questions or comments from Mr. Lakins?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to just take an opportunity to thank Mr. Likens and his staff for all the hard work they've been doing over the years. And I've walked the stream with Mr. Likens and picked up trash, and I just think he's a wonderful human being and he's doing a fantastic job. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to say so. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. And there's no amendment to this. Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on resolution 134-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 134-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Resolution 135-20. This is a resolution for the council's consideration of approving the continuation of the state of emergency pursuant to the executive's initial executive order number 2020-002 related to the pandemic.
Thank you. And I believe we have Mr. Gaskins here to testify with us this evening.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair and members of the County Council. The administration seeks approval of Resolution 135-20. Resolution 135-20 seeks approval of the continuation of a local state of emergency initially declared by the county executive on March 13, 2020, which is reflected in Executive Order number 2020-2 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. On March 13, 2020, in accordance with the authority granted by Section 31503 of the Baltimore County Code and Section 14111 of the Public Safety Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, the county executive declared a state of emergency and catastrophic health emergency exists in Baltimore County due to COVID-19. On March 16, 2020, the County Council authorized the continuation of that state of emergency with the approval of Resolution 3720. The Council has subsequently authorized the continuation of the state of emergency with the approval of Resolutions 47, 52, 71, 78, 90, 102, 119, all of 2020, as referenced by -20, which is set to expire December 11, 2020. Resolution 135-20 declares that it is likely that the state of emergency will continue beyond December 11, 2020, and authorizes the continuation of the state of emergency for an additional 25 days beyond December 11, 2020, ending January 5th, 2021, or when the county executive declares an end to the state of emergency, whichever comes first. A state of emergency and catastrophic health emergency was proclaimed by Governor Hogan on March 5th, 2020, and was most recently renewed November 25th, last Thursday. And that order is still in effect. Resolution 135-20 will take effect from the date of its passage by the County Council.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Councilman Jones.
I guess wanted to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Gaskin for his presentation, but also just to piggyback on what Councilman Quirk said, how important that money is to our community. And I certainly hope Congress can get it passed and get it here fast. And I'm just having some thoughts about the state of emergency and how far we've come, and yet we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, and we still have some way to go. I know at one point things appeared to be a little under control, and some people were saying we should, remove the state of emergency. But I guess hindsight is always 20/20, and we still have quite some ways to go with this crisis. And I certainly look forward to when we can see it in the rearview mirror. But right now, we are still in it, and it appears as though we're going to have even more. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Amen to that, Councilman Jones. Any other?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilman Couch.
Yeah, for Mrs. Rogers, do you, I look forward to that information that the administration used in order to make the decision to close down recreation and parks, sports activities in the county. I'm getting quite a number of citizens upset about that particular order. So I understand it's in the process, and I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Mhm.
I appreciate it.
We did communicate that back to Rec and Parks and to the county executive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, is there a motion to approve Resolution 135-20?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 135-20.
Mrs. Bevins? Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
No.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 135-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please. Thank you, Mr. Gaskins.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next is Resolution 136-20. This is a resolution sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins to authorize the refund of property taxes paid by Tisa Brown, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
I'll move it.
Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll. Resolution 136-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Resolution 136-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 137-20 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund, a partial refund to Gwendolyn Edwards, who as a blind person is entitled to a partial refund under state law.
I move this bill forward. This
Second.
resolution forward, I'm sorry.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll. Resolution 137-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 138-20 is passed.
That one was 137, Madam Chair.
Oh, too quick. 137. Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item.
Next is Resolution 138-20. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins and would authorize the property tax refund to Joseph Fuller, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 138-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 139-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
That one was 138, Madam Chair. But you are way ahead of me. Resolution 139-20 is sponsored by Councilman Jones. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Larry Tyson, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
My honor and privilege to move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 138-20. I'm being funny. 139-20.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 139-20 is passed. Next item, please.
Next is Resolution 140-20. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins and authorizes the property tax refund to Javon Weaver, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my absolute honor to move it.
Second.
Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 140-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Resolution 140-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Madam Chair, is Resolution 141-20. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Jones and authorizes the property tax refund to Alan Hyde, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
My honor and privilege to move the resolution.
I'll second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 141-20.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 141-20 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, next is Resolution 142-20. This resolution is for introduction only. This would endorse the Martin State Airport, MARC Station, and surrounding area as a potential transit-oriented development. Again, for introduction only this evening. As a resolution, this can be voted on at the next meeting on December 21st.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next is Resolution 143-20. This is a resolution to accept a monetary donation from the Ruth Conrad Revocable Trust for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Madam Chair
Yes, Ms.
and
Rogers.
council members, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Rogers. Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.